Hello friends. Welcome to the Global Pulse. The present development is Israel faced pressure from all sides for ceasefire. Now that Netanyahu is surrounded in his own house, what will he do? Let us take a look into Israel-Hamas war. A continuous phase of heavy protests is underway for the release of Israeli prisoners from Hamas captivity. Once again, thousands of people took to the streets of Tel Aviv and appealed to the Israeli government for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, so that the prisoners can be safely released. Israel is going through one of the most difficult phases in its history. On one hand, there is intense international pressure on it for ceasefire in Gaza, while on the other hand, there are continuous protests in Israeli cities for the release of prisoners from Hamas captivity. On Saturday, thousands of people took to the streets of Tel Aviv and staged a march. Along with this, protesters immediately demanded a ceasefire in Gaza, so that prisoners could be safely released. Relatives and friends of those held captive by Hamas are fearful that if Israel does not agree to a ceasefire, the conflict will prolong and more captives will be killed. Those participating in the protests have also appealed to the Israeli government to accept the proposal for a ceasefire put forth by U.S. President Joe Biden. Nearly 8 months into the ongoing Gaza conflict, the U.S. has presented a new peace proposal to Israel and Hamas. This proposal includes the reconstruction of residential areas of Gaza and the release of Israeli prisoners. President Joe Biden revealed on Friday that the new peace proposal has 3 stages. In the first phase, a ceasefire will be enforced for 6 weeks. During this time, Israeli soldiers will withdraw from the populated areas of Gaza. Along with this, Hamas will release elderly and female Israeli prisoners in exchange for Palestinian detainees. In the second phase, Israel and Hamas will negotiate to permanently end the conflict. During this period, ceasefires will be in place. The work of rebuilding Gaza will begin in the third and final phase. Speaking to journalists at the White House, the American president had said that everyone who desires peace. Now is the time to end this war. He has appealed to leaders of both sides to take advantage of this opportunity. Biden had said, "This is a roadmap for a permanent ceasefire and the release of all prisoners." This proposal was sent to Hamas by Qatar. "I want to have the right conditions for American citizens and the world." There are 3 phases to this new proposal. Before this, Hamas had also given a peace proposal to Israel, which Israel had rejected. In Hamas' proposal, it was mentioned that in exchange for the immediate return of Israeli soldiers from Gaza, the prisoners would be released. There was also a discussion in Egypt for a ceasefire in Gaza, which remained undecided. Even in Egypt, there was no agreement on the peace proposal. At that time, Hamas was demanding a complete ceasefire. They wanted the war in Gaza to end completely with a permanent ceasefire and the Israeli army to withdraw. Meanwhile, Israel was insisting on stopping the fighting for a while. In the midst of this, the Israeli army has claimed control of the Philadelphia corridor. Strategically important, the corridor adjoining Gaza and Egypt is known as the Philadelphia corridor. It is termed as a buffer zone as it is a neutral area between Egypt and Gaza. Following the occupation of this corridor, now the entire land border of Gaza has come under Israeli control. According to IDF, it has been discovered that there are 20 tunnels here. It was used for smuggling weapons. IDF spokesperson David Menzer had said, "I can confirm this report that our soldiers have taken control of the Philadelphia corridor, which is a narrow strip between Egypt and Rafah." Meanwhile, Egypt has rejected Israel's claim of tunnels meeting in the Philadelphia corridor. It is said that Israel is making a false claim to justify its military actions in the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. Thank you very much for watching. Stay with us for the latest news around the world. Goodbye and see you soon.